Welcome, this is Wing Chun Breakdown. This is not Wing Chun. Ever read this line in a comment beneath a Wing Chun video? This is an interesting phenomenon on the internet. Most often you can read this kind of comment when Wing Chun is pressure tested. This might be a sparring or fight. Who writes these comments? I would assume these people are practicing Wing Chun themselves or have practiced Wing Chun. Or they have seen the movie Ip Man? It seems there is a wide gap between the things the people expect to see and what actually happens. To unpack this phenomenon, we have to define what Wing Chun is. This is actually not an easy task. Why? There are probably thousands Wing Chun interpretations today. Think about a tree with many branches. Every time a new generation start to pass on what they have learned, new ideas and priorities are introduced. So we have to find the core of Wing Chun, something which unites most of the styles. I would define Wing Chun as a martial art which is strongly focused on attacking the middle of the opponent and protecting the own center by using movements which take the shortest path and optimally impede the actions, angle or movement of the opponent. Different styles use slightly different approaches to achieve this goal, but most Wing Chun practitioners are likely to agree with this definition. Let's look at a clip of a Wing Chun tournament where many people commented that this is not Wing Chun. Let's see if we can find something which is matching the constructed definition. The rules seem to prescribe the crossing of the arms using the Man Wu position and the typical Wing Chun stance, which is known from the first form. Let me make a small comment before we proceed. Everybody who enters the ring, does sparring or some kind of pressure testing deserves respect. So the following analysis is not intended to mock somebody. These guys have done what many Wing Chun people never tried, they tested what they have learned. So please don't take this as an offense. This is an honest review and everybody can make mistakes, especially in a stressful situation. There is something else I want to point out. In my opinion, these rules are too strict and seem to take away a lot of footwork, timing and feints. Also, since both participants are using exactly the same strategy, there is little room for variation and creativity. In fact, non-Wing Chun punches seem to be prohibited. Imagine two boxers, who are not allowed to move and are allowed to use only one punch. Exactly. But I can see why they used these kind of rules. They wanted to create a clear separation from boxing, kickboxing and other martial arts and make something very Wing Chun specific. Now let's continue. The exchange starts with a series of interchanging forward and backward steps, where both try to land a strike, but nearly all strikes are not reaching the opponent. It is interesting that both participants are inclined to lean back or step back during their attacks. In combination with the hand drop, this can be a dangerous behavior when the opponent is using more dedicated strikes. The rules of point fighting might introduce this behavior. In summary, this exchange is showing little proficiency, since the amount of missed strikes is very high. This is the reason why other sportsmen describe such behavior as waving one's hand around. There is a lot happening, but nearly no strikes are landing. Note what is happening now and during the fight very often. The guy with the red gloves is leaning back and loses his balance as soon as small force is acting on him. This hinders him from landing a solid strike and makes him very vulnerable. This can happen to everyone, but this should not become a bad habit, what is probably the case here. Please observe. Note also this unnecessary upward jump. This problem is even more obvious in the following sequence. Let's return to the initial question. Is this Wing Chun? We have seen a lot of chain punching. Even if it was not very successful, both participants tried to attack the middle of their opponent. Due to unconfident footwork, only a few strikes actually landed. Here I found some further techniques. A pak sao, which should clear the way for the attack but is not too successful here. A more successful application of Wing Chun technique can be seen here. The pulling hand, also known as jut or lap sao. Considering the starting position, this should be the first thing to expect. Later on, the guy with the red gloves tries the same but fails. He is pulling the hand, but the pull has no impact on the balance or body angle of the other guy. Towards the end, the guy with the white belt gains more and more confidence and ends every exchange with a direct hit. It repeats over and over until the fight is finally over with a clear winner. Yes, this is Wing Chun. But obviously, this is not Wing Chun at a high level. There are several problems, which need to be addressed to deliver a better performance. These problems can be found among many Wing Chun trainees. We can all learn from this. So above all, check your footwork, balance and body alignment. Incorporate the changes in your sparring. Work on the heavy bag to develop striking power. Watch your actions and do less, but more actions with actual intent. If you are used to arranged movements, you will be disappointed on the amount of techniques which you will be able to pull off in a stressful situation. Maybe you will discover that some of your techniques are not effective at all. Most often people who never spar do combination and series of movements, which will never occur in real life. Fundamentals are key. Forget the flashy things. This will only work in movies and with your friendly training partners or after years of hard training and sparring. This is the root for the massive mismatch between reality and training. This was Wing Chun Breakdown. Hit the like button, share this video and subscribe. Now. There is a ton of more videos to come. Keep practicing, keep improving and stay hungry.